What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast, backed by 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and for the first time in a month, I'm not a loner. Oh my god, I've got a guest, and his name is Buddy Watson. Buddy, how you going, dude?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm going well, man. I'm going well. I've been talking to myself for the last few episodes. It's fun, but yeah, it's good to actually, have someone to have a bit of back and forth with.
Yeah, well, mate, you've been listening and you have been absolutely killing it. It's not an easy thing to do a podcast by yourself, but you have been doing a great job. But I'm happy that I'm here in the House of Mario. It's so spacious. I didn't realize how spacious the house was.
Yeah,
so.
It's very clean at the moment too. I'm making sure, keeping all those nasty germs out in the way. So, so nothing bad happens.
Yeah, well, we obviously can't leave the house at the moment, so...
yeah, you're stuck here now.
I think... Yeah, I'm stuck here. The next 14 days, stuck in isolation in the House of Mario, so, yeah, sorry to my wife, Kim, I won't be able to return.
I mean, she can come over too,
Yeah, that's right.
She can stay.
We'll have a party. You can only have, like, one guest or something, is how it works. I don't know. I'm not really in tune with the government's requirements. I've kind of bunkered down on ourselves, so.
Yeah, so like you work at retail. How's it affected you as far as your routine, getting to work, and all of that?
Oh man, so I have recently had 16 days off from work. It's the longest period I've had off since working at the retailer for 5 years. Not for any kind of crazy reason. Some of it was annual leave. Some of it was other unrelated type health reasons. How it's been affecting me, getting to work and everything is quite easy because I only live around the corner from work, so it's not really adjusted my kind of commute, or every now and then I'll walk to work. But I guess being at work and having to kind of face customers and be retail focused, that's been a bit of a challenge, to be honest. I think my employer has been really good in implementing, the stickers on the floor, keeping people 1.5 meters apart, and not taking cash. And for the first hour of when we're open, all the staff kind of will clean their section now. So there's been a few things that have been implemented that have kind of made life easier, but it's still a bit frustrating when some customers come in and will still try and get close to you, whether they they're these idiots that think nothing is happening, or where they kind of, subconsciously just kind of forget at the time. And that's kind of a moment where myself, if someone does that to me, I'm having to step back or make it super obvious to them that, kind of we shouldn't be doing this. And I'm also kind of conscious of that myself when I'm approaching customers and not, getting too close to them. So it can be a bit of a challenge, especially when the store is quite full. I think we have a capacity limit on all the stores. Ours is quite a big store, so it's quite a big capacity anyway. I think it should actually be a bit lower than what it is. I think, theoretically it doesn't, kind of match up with the practicality side of the numbers and the square footage and actually having fixtures and stuff in. So it is a bit of a challenge at the moment for me. I do obviously work for a electronics retailer. I do work in the games section of said retailer. So I guess that's quite specific in your case, in my case as well, for having a passion and talking about video games. But it has been a bit of a challenge, but kind of just doing the best we can at the moment. So
yeah, because I know when I was still working at the pub before, obviously all the pubs and hotels shut down, like you're just thinking about it all the time. And
it's tough not to.
I can imagine for you, like, people going around touching like the iPads, the computers, picking up a game, putting it back, probably play on your mind a fair bit. But
yeah, it does. And I'm kind of wiping over every product in my section, and even to the point of like the games in the section as well, and then the cases. I'm kind of brushing, over those with our cleaning products and stuff. And, we kind of, before we open, we're cleaning all the display, computers, and anything that can be kind of touched, we're really emphasizing as well. So, yeah, it's a bit of a task. And like you said, it's kind of on your mind anyway. I'm so glad that we've stopped cash. I don't really have to take cash at my job, but that is the responsibility of the people that work at the counter. But I'm so glad that has kind of been implemented as well. How was, you guys shut a while ago, right? For the pubs?
Yeah, it was about like a month ago or so.
Yeah. So was there any kind of things that were implemented by that time, or was it kind of too early on where they just like shut it and that's the solution for us?
Yeah, well, it's pretty much shut. Like the pub I work at, they've got like their bottle-o open and they're doing takeaway meals and stuff like that over the weekend. But apart from that, it's just completely shut.
Yeah. I think one of the big factors in our retailer staying open is that so many people are working from home now. So we've had a major influx in sales for laptops, monitors, webcams. Even to the point where we've sold out of all your normal headsets that people would use just to plug into your computer to do voice chat or anything like that over Skype or Zoom or what a lot of people are using now. Half the people don't even know Discord exists. All us gamers do. So that flow-on effect is all these people are buying gaming headsets because you can't get the other headsets now. So a lot of our goods have been important, I guess, to stay open. But on the flip side of that, there's been, people that come in browsing for DVDs or even to a degree, if they just don't even know what they're after and they're just coming in and browsing and touching games and stuff. There's a kind of a limit there where you can kind of order those online and get them delivered to you or even buy digitally. So there's a certain frustration, especially being at my end of the store where it's all the software based and I feel like it's non-essential stuff. So it's even more frustrating being up that end of the store. And at least in the middle of the store where they're selling, like I said, all the IT stuff, at least it feels like you're actually helping people out at that time. So.
Do you get many people come in buying microphones?
Absolutely, yeah. So getting a lot of there's a lot of yesterday I had a chef who's he brought a lapel mic and was looking to do some streaming or recording cooking videos and wanted to obviously have something on him instead of having a microphone on a stand or in front or having a boom arm or anything super crazy. So that was an interesting kind of, I guess, case study for that. A lot of people are wanting even a USB mic just so that they can teach fitness classes or, that the computer's going to be X amount of distance away from them where a normal, headset that they don't want to wear because they're doing exercise and all that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of scenarios where the increase for microphones and headsets with mics and all that kind of just kind of went through the roof, really.
Yeah, because I was watching Dr. Phil today and he was just like, he obviously was just using the laptop microphone.
He may or may not be a doctor. Spoilers, not actually a doctor.
But I was just thinking, like, surely he could have gone and got a microphone and maybe a better webcam, like host his show where he's getting thousands of dollars. He obviously believes what's happening is we shouldn't be at home and swimming pools cause more deaths than what's carrying one. So I'm very surprised that he hasn't gone out to get a microphone himself. Maybe it's the risk of him actually getting stoned, stabbed, or abused, or actually taken down. It's absolutely ludicrous and ridiculous non-medical opinions. Maybe that's the risk for him. Yeah. So I wasn't actually listening to what he was saying, but I was eating lunch and I'm like, huh. It's so funny to listen to a lot of the gaming podcasts or even people that are in professional type jobs where they have been streaming or recording videos or anything like that and kind of seeing the do-it-yourself setups that they have now. And some people only don't have a microphone at home because they're relying so much on what the business is providing them at the time. It's so funny that a podcast, like this one or some of our other community podcasts that we listen to or a part of sound so crisp because so many people are used to recording separate audio, have the proper equipment set up at home and can blend it all together and make it sound like a real nice, neat package from kind of amateurs that don't get paid to do it. And then you've got all these professionals that are using Apple earphones and all have different mics and different audio levels and different webcams. It's actually quite funny to see. So yeah, the roles have reversed a little bit until they go back and they sound a lot better again. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, parity is restored. Yeah. So, buddy, this week we've got a bit to talk about as far as Animal Crossing sales and a fair bit of interesting news. But before we jump into that, I just want to bring up a Apple iTunes review we got. And
excellent.
I'd just like to read them out to, thank you very much for leaving us a review and to let others know that you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. So this one is by, I think it's a JSHAUWJQ. So I assume that stands for Joshua, then maybe his last name. I'm not actually sure. If it's someone's username who I know in person, I'm sorry. But he says, this podcast is for you. Let's face it, if you have come to the review section for such a specific genre of podcast, then you're already contemplating listening, and if you need it any more convincing, then look no further. Now, actually, I'm going to blush a bit while reading this. I didn't... they're actually very nice, so thank you very much. I'm going to say this as genuine as I possibly can. Drew's voice is like pouring sweet liquid silk directly into my eardrums. Such a lovely person. Can almost always find good in any situation, proving that there is yet hope left in the world. And Bryce provides a necessary, more abrasive outlook, ensuring none of the big publishers/developers are let off easy when they release or reveal anything subpar. They are the perfect combination and provide me with some of the most enjoyable hours of my week. So thank you very much, my friend. There's a very when I read that honestly made my day. So thank you very much.
That's a fantastic review, and what an apt description as well. You're right. Bryce will take down anybody, and I love it.
Yeah, it's just like some of like when he's talking about EA or something, I'm like, well, Bryce, calm down a bit, mate. Like, they've made some bad decisions, but let it be.
Fortnite and PS4.
Oh my god. Even with that, it's like, what Sony's doing, locking people out of their Fortnite accounts just for logging into it once. That's not good. But oh my god, he wouldn't let it go, would he? Would not let it go. He hasn't really even let it go now that they've reversed it. He's like, nah, fuck him.
It kind of makes me wish I'd put more effort into my iTunes review for the House of Mario. Mine was 2 years ago, and this is what I had to say. It was only a sentence, but after the kind of, maybe I should go and update it and write some more lovely things. I've got great show from Bryce and Drew, killing it with Nintendo topics, news, and reviews. 5 stars. Always 5 stars.
That's to the point. I guess we haven't got any mean ones yet. So if you have some mean things to say, maybe just DM me on Twitter. You don't have to say it on the iTunes reviews.
Maybe I'll give you 5 stars, but then I'll do a really trolly mean one so you can read it, but still have the 5 stars.
Yeah. So I've actually I've been looking at apps on the App Store, and I'll look at it and the title will be disappointing, but then it'll be 5 stars. I'm like, oh, you're sending mixed messages here. I don't know what to take out of this. You know what
that is? That's someone who's done 5 stars and done a good review, and then they've gone back and re-reviewed, but it didn't change their star rating. It's the same kind of thing that can happen if you get a low review as well. It could keep the nice words, and then it'd be 1 star.
Oh, right, yeah. I didn't know you could actually go back and change it, but
yeah, you can. Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyway. That's enough.
Don't change them, people. Just give the 5-star reviews and be on your way.
That's enough blowing smoke up our ass. All right, buddy. So, what have you been playing over the last few weeks?
Look, I know we're a Nintendo-based podcast, so everyone's going to be very disappointed. Yes, you can leave me hate mail at BuddyWatson12 on Twitter. I haven't been playing any Nintendo Switch at all. I did have Animal Crossing. I recently let go of that purchase.
Oh, I was going to ask.
Yes, yeah. I'm done and dusted, yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. I sold that to a coworker. Like I said, I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago on the podcast when you called me. I know it's a big pick up and play, and if you're not time skipping, it's one of those games that you're going to have on you for a long time. That's just not really how I play games that aren't multiplayer competitive type stuff. So for me, I knew that I was only going to have it for a short amount of time. I got my feel from it. I understand what the game is. I did enjoy it. It's just I know that I won't get back to it. I'll just let it sit there. So I may as well get some of my money back now. But I did enjoy it. It's just I know that I would, neglect it, so to say. So
yeah, that's fair enough. And at least you gave it a go and, saw what it's all about.
Yeah, and on the time skipping thing, do you do the time skipping? Are you one of these people?
No,
you're a purist.
Yeah, man. I'm a
Yeah,
purist.
that's what I like to hear, because I see so many people's images of Animal Crossing on Twitter, and they're obviously doing the time skip stuff and just getting all the coolest stuff and really cheating the system. I don't really think that's how the game was designed to be played. And if you're going to do that anyway, I really think that you're taking away from what the Animal Crossing experience is, and then it kind of takes away some of the identity of the game and what it's trying to accomplish or be for that person. Fair enough, each to their own. I just don't think that's like a feasible thing to do in the game. So yeah, shame on all you time skippers.
Yeah,
I'm glad that. Of course, you're a purist. Of course. Why did I ever ask that?
I see people on Twitter like they've got like awesome villages. They've done all this stuff, and they got like millions and millions of dollars of bells. They're doing the turnip thing every week. Just heaps of money, and I'm there just like, I've got my village, like I haven't got the ability to customize it and do all the crazy stuff yet. My village is just basically full of orange trees, and I just like every 3 days I like harvest them and like get it, and I put it towards my house. I've got about 500,000 more bells to pay off for my last renovation of the house, and once that's done, I'm going to concentrate on the house and then like concentrate on like other stuff and start paying off for bridges and that. Like I'm just doing it slowly. I really enjoy just picking it up each day and doing it. Whether I play it for an hour and just harvest my oranges, or I actually like do some more stuff and talk to the villagers and just go fishing for like 2 hours while watching stuff on Netflix or whatever. I just really enjoy it. I'm back a couple of years ago when Pokemon Quest came out. I was just playing that every day, and I was just I think I said to Bryce on the podcast actually, but I'm like, I really want Animal Crossing out now, because I'm just really in the mood for just like picking up my Switch each day, giving me an excuse to do something, you know, for the most part, pretty brainless if I want it to be. And I'm just really enjoying it. And like, if I was time skipping, I reckon it'll take away a lot of the game for me. I like being like, oh, well, I can't do anything else today. Or maybe I'll say like, oh, well, I need a bridge. I can do one bridge per day, but oh, well, I'll just do something else and do
quite cathartic and quite methodical.
Yeah. So
it's funny. I know you're a purist because you have the 120 star power rating, and you don't have the 130 or 150 star power rating from the extended stars that they put in the 3DS version. Is it? Yeah,
the DS version had 150.
Yeah, the DS. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's how you know you're a purist.
That's right. The 64
Chef's
version.
Kiss.
But I got to say, the DS version was very good. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to.
So I haven't been playing Animal Crossing. We've established that. All I've been playing has been Apex Legends, which I'm addicted to at the moment.
Yeah, cool.
I know that's not on Nintendo Switch, but that's all I played really across the 16 days time off. Every now and then I would play some Rocket League, but I just found myself going back to Apex and going through the dailies and weeklies and the event type challenge that they've been having. So I've been having a lot of fun with that, especially the duos mode that they've introduced as well. So it'd be interesting to see if a game like that could ever get onto Switch, with Fortnite coming to Switch. And what other battle royales have come to that? I think that's it, isn't it, for the Switch? It's just the Fortnite at the moment, isn't it?
There's that. Is it Realm Royale that came?
Oh, Realm Royale. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm wondering if the Switch would be able to kind of handle something like Apex or.
I dare say, like with the correct team, they'll be able to port it and get it graphically and running. But the hardest bit would just be the networking behind it all, running on Switch, because
especially when you look at something like PUBG, and that just like, that looks terrible on console.
Yeah, PUBG will not be running on Switch.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, so who you been playing with? You been like playing with Dylan and all that, or?
Yeah, playing a bit with Dylan Blight over from the Explosion Network. Mainly really him. Rocket League I play on my own. A couple of randoms been added to me, and been playing a little bit of the new mode that was around for the 3 days or whatever with those guys. And a little bit Ashley Hobley's jumped in every now and then. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah. I've been meaning to sort of get into Apex, but I like downloaded it on I think Xbox and my PC. I'm like, I'll give it a go, but never really got into it.
Yeah. I honestly, when it first came out, I didn't really like it, and it's probably because I wasn't grasping the kind of whole hero shooter aspect with all the abilities of each character. But I'm so glad that I've kind of given it a second chance, and now I absolutely love it. If I go back and kind of doing my games of the year list for that year, I probably would have put Apex in it.
yeah.
If it was, the kind of level of play that I've had since then, now I would definitely have rated it in my top 10. So.
Did it only come out last year, or was it the year before?
Yeah, I think it was the start of last year.
Wow.
Very early.
It feels like way longer, doesn't it?
Feels like an eternity.
Yeah, it feels like it's been around forever. Like it just came out and just sort of took the internet by fire, and it's sort of like just stuck around, and that's cool to see.
So what about yourself? What have you been playing?
Well, I've still been working, so still been pretty busy with that. So when I get home, I'm just sort of like buggered and tired and whatever. So I just like looking for something which is a bit easier. I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I got about 5 hours in, and I hadn't really played it since because I want to play it when I'm not like when I can actually like concentrate on it and whatever. So I've just been picking up Animal Crossing, and apart from that, I've been picking up Pokemon Sword as well. Just playing that each night, just doing the raids that are happening. It's still Charizard and all of those that were featured. I think almost for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks now. It must be ending in a couple of days by the time this goes up. But yeah, I just turn it on and I just do as many raids as I can, just to just something to do while watching TV and that. And actually, and just before I started this podcast, actually, and I was getting the news together, I saw that Hatsune Project Diva Mega Mix has a release date, and a demo went up on the eShop. So I downloaded that about an hour ago, and I played the demo. I guess, do you have any idea what these Hatsune Miku games are, buddy?
I thought you game up then. I thought you were just testing me, and you just said a random bunch of words to see if I was listening. And I'm listening. I just that's real. What? What? Yeah,
so the Hatsune Miku Project Diva games is a series that started on the PSP back in about 2008, and I really got into the series on PlayStation Vita a few years ago. It was my first import from rest in peace Vita. The game was my first import from Japan because back then it was only released in Japan. Then the series has started to come out in the US and Australia and all that. And this is the first time the series is coming to a Nintendo platform. There's been other Hatsune Miku games on 3DS, but they were a different type, and I didn't enjoy them as much. They were a bit just like the rhythm game mechanics were a bit more boring. But just to put it lightly, it's a rhythm game when you're like pressing the buttons along to the beat, and like I really love this. I really love the J-pop music in it, the Hatsune Miku music, and I think it was like my most played game on Vita, according to like this email I got from Sony. I don't know. It's just I just pick it up and I just put my headphones on and I just go for it. Especially with the Vita version, it was like a lot of fun just aiming for trophies and all that, just trying to beat everything on hard and do certain tasks. And I think the trophies really helped me on that. So whether the game on Switch, obviously without an achievement system, will hook me as much, I'm not sure. But I'm definitely looking forward to just like having it portable. Basically, what this game is it's a combination of all of the game songs all in one pack, basically. So over
I'm looking at the image of the song now. Oh, sorry, the game now, and it's like very much anime.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dash will get into this.
Yeah, like it's really cool. I really love it, and it got announced sometime last year, but it was coming out this year, and I'm like, so I had my eye on it, and Sega's just come out and announced that it's coming out May 15th. So
very nice. It looks like it's got like a Persona dancing style type gameplay.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. So
just from the screenshot I can see. So
yeah, and I really got into the Persona 4 dancing all night on PS Vita as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, if you like J-pop and anime, and customizing girls and that's outfits, as weird as that sounds, download the demo, give it a go, because it's a series that I really love, and it's pretty cool because I always associated this as a PlayStation game, obviously because it was a PlayStation series, and so having it on sort of the same platform as Pokemon and Smash Bros and that, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty kind of not surreal thing, but it's just like it's really nice for like someone like me who likes the series.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you know the Switch has finally put the last nail in the PlayStation Vita's coffin. Bang.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I actually charged up my Vita the other day to play it, but I plugged it in and it's still plugged in. Like I never went and took it off and played it.
The desire to play it it was short-lived.
It was there. It definitely was there. But yeah. So
Very nice.
Oh, and also like the sort of the art style now, it's a very anime. Before it was like a sort of like a weird 3D sort of art style. Now it just looks like an anime, which is very nice too.
That's probably a good decision then.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into some news, buddy.
Let's do it.
Ooh.
Woohoo! Yeah! Pika, pika!
Is that all?
I fight for my friends.
Yahoo!
My body is still.
All right, buddy. So Animal Crossing has been selling rather well. And this article, or little snippet of an article, is from Superdata. And I'm just going to take out the bit relevant to Animal Crossing. So basically what it says is Animal Crossing New Horizons sold more digital units in a single month, which was 5 million units. And that's more than any console game in history. So the Nintendo published title broke the console record for monthly digital game sales previously held by Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Animal Crossing New Horizons also roughly matched the first month digital sales of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Pokémon Sword and Shield put together. The game's combination of social features and relaxing setting likely appealed to individuals stuck at home. Closures of brick and mortar stores also meant that a larger share of consumers purchased the game digitally compared to past Switch titles. And this is also from My Nintendo News. So the MPD results for March are in, and Animal Crossing New Horizons topped that for the US. And interestingly enough, the digital sales are not included in Animal Crossing on the MPD charts. So Animal Crossing has had a hell of a first month, and like I knew it was going to sell well, but holy shit, I did not expect it to basically take the world, or especially the gaming segment of the internet by storm.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. 5 million just in digital, and then to top the NPD, which is only physical. As a guesstimate, you'd be at least a couple million physically. Knowing more, obviously working and selling games where I am, Animal Crossing has been walking off the shelves. You can't get enough of it. Everyone wants it, and nobody has it. So I'm wondering what the sales numbers are up to. I'd love to know what that is, because can you imagine if it's like 10 million sold combined already? That'd be like,
I think
it's going
to have to be close to that. Like, so the MPD, that's just America. Then we've got the digital sales, which are 5 million. Then I can't remember. I think I talked about it the last episode, but in Japan, the game had sold 3 million. So I don't know whether that's included in those digital sales or the physical sales. Don't know how that's split, but it's going to be at least close to 10 million, which is just crazy, because when this series started, like almost 20 years ago on the GameCube, or even the Nintendo 64 DD in Japan, before that, and it was always like a fairly niche series for Nintendo, and sort of with the 3DS it just snuck up and became a pretty important game for Nintendo. But now on the Switch, this is like probably one of the top 5 most important games for the system, which is just crazy, and it's really cool to see too. Especially as I've been into the series since the DS version, and it was always like I had no one to talk about it to, really. Like I talked about it with Bryce, and I let him borrow my copy, but I don't think it was necessarily as into it as I was. And there was one of my friends at school, she was really into it, and she was like the only one I sort of talked about the game to. But now like the whole internet, like my Twitter feed is just full of Animal Crossing, and I love it.
This is like your ultimate dream. You're living your best life right now.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to speak about Animal Crossing. So
yeah, it's really cool. Like I was like,
but you think
Oh, sorry, you're going.
Sorry, but like, just going back to the numbers, like you think that Nintendo Switch has sold like 50 million plus units. I can't remember what the exact figure is. And then if they have done around 10 million units of Animal Crossing, that's a 20% attach rate. And the game is barely a month old.
Mm. Yeah,
So
when you put it,
that's just
yeah,
insane numbers. That is insane. If you look in like MPD for total sales of like Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey, all that kind of stuff, and look at the attach rates of the console for those, Animal Crossing is just absurd.
yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, is this going to be able to take over, like, or at least get to what Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey are over lifetime sales?
Yeah, well, it's so tough because so many people picking up a Switch specifically for Animal Crossing. Yes, maybe that will give that a bump, but other people that are Animal Crossing is kind of becoming a gateway to actually getting a Switch. They might be also picking up other titles as well, which is once again increasing that attach rate. So we sold a Switch. All our Switches came in today. Sold a Switch and sold Animal Crossing, the last copy that I had of it, with Super Mario Odyssey, and then another person was getting Smash and Zelda together. So they're still heavy hitters. I'm just thinking that Animal Crossing getting more Switches in hands, people still might be picking up the other titles, whether it's straight away or maybe later on.
Because I would imagine like Mario Kart would get a nice bump out of people buying Animal Crossing. Because I don't know, to me that just seems like the more like a casual game to like put it next to Animal Crossing. Like, let's play. I'll get this and I'll play some Mario Kart. And
Mario Kart is like the first game I recommend for anybody that's picking up a Switch. So specifically if it's family orientated, 4 players straight away, one Joy-Con can become a controller for each person. You have the assist mode for younger kids that can't quite comprehend the controls or kind of the idea of the game, and then you can turn that off for other people as well. So it covers all bases for everyone. Sorry, not Animal Crossing. Mario Kart is just so good as a Switch game and a family game as well.
Yeah, definitely. What we got here? Oh. Yeah, so I think Nintendo's financial results should be coming out soon, seeing as March, like the financial year for them ends in March, I believe. I could be wrong, but it should be coming up soon. So we should be getting official sales figures from Nintendo. So I'm looking forward to that, cool. seeing where it ends up. I think Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are at number 10 at like I think 11 million. So let's see whether it can beat that and get on to the top 10.
Yeah, you're right. We'll find out the sales straight away, won't we? Almost.
Yeah. Because I was on Bobby Paul's Animal Crossing podcast, Nintendo Guru, and he asked me. He said, like, where do you see Animal Crossing sales figures landing up? And I said, it's gonna go pretty well. I think, like, I sort of thought like 6 million maybe in the first month. Like, it's gonna go pretty well, and it's gonna go on from there, and it's gonna reach like maybe 10 to 15 million, like once all said and done. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna smash that.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So we just got some updates as far as firmware and all that goes. So we got Nintendo Switch eShop receives a slight update, and basically it's very, very boring. But basically, when you put your cursor over a game, it cycles through the screenshot so you can get a better look at the game without actually clicking on it. And this actually goes into a question from Dylan Blight
That's actually pretty good. A website I use quite frequently also does that as well when you browse over the image.
Yeah, and like the Apple App Store and a few places do it just so it's like really easy to like get an idea of what the game is without actually clicking onto it and loading. Because we all know what the eShop's like. It's like, yeah, it takes a while to like load into it. More than it should anyway. But basically, this leads into a question from Dylan Blight from the Explosion Network, and he said, since there was a small update on the Nintendo Switch store today that auto plays screenshots when you hover over a game, what would you like to see changed/added to the store? And Buddy, do you have any things you would like seeing added to the Nintendo Switch eShop? In particular,
I cannot remember the last time I visited the Nintendo eShop. I buy most of my games physically.
Mr. Physical, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Physical. Let's get physical. Trying to think, because just offhand, it would really be the same problem as what the PlayStation Store has. and that would just be better curation and maybe more menus. I just remember there being like 3 or 4 sidebar menus, like coming soon, new releases, and then just games or deals.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. Is that the kind of the same as it is?
Yeah, I believe it's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and then your
changed much.
search engine, you can search, and then you can also like tick whether it includes games that have demos as well, which I think is also a cool feature. But I would just love to kind of see it probably more segmented and have that a little bit more tighter and organized on the side. And then when it comes to their picks or the games that they want to highlight, maybe a little bit more better curation, because there's so many low price, really weird mobile game ports or $1 games, $2 games, and I feel like a lot of the mid-tier games that are not your Katana Zeros or your Messengers or things like that, or your My Friend Pedro, I think they're pretty good, but it's the games in between that price bracket from all the $3 games to the $30 games, so in between there I feel like a lot of the gems in that kind of get lost in it. As well, and it's less, unless it's kind of like a big name game like a Golf Story or a Stardew Valley, which is going to be in their charts. I really feel like a lot of games get lost, and that's a problem with a lot of the digital stores when don't even speak about the Apple Store when it comes to finding games. Obviously, we have the Apple Plus or whatever it is with the Apple games you can get, but that's a lot better curated now, but with that subscription. But that's the main thing. I'm a bit OCD or obsessed with organization, and I just love it to be a little bit more organized, better, having tiers for looking up games that are under a certain price. I can't remember if the store has that, so forgive me if that is already a thing, but if I can't remember that is a thing, maybe it's not organized to the best of its ability at the moment. So they're probably the big things I'm looking at. How you use the store quite often, don't you? Because you're quite a distance away from some of your retails. Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much all exclusive digital on my Switch. And
yeah, so you would have the best opinion of like what are the main things that annoy you or you think they could do better on?
Yeah, so I actually like just going on the eShop and just like looking. I probably do it at least probably like 3 times a week, just like go through the deals, go through the new games, just see what's out there. Because like there's so many games coming out, but even like all these sites and that they can't catch them all. So if something looks like it appeals to me, I'm like, oh, I'll have a look at the trailer and everything.
Nice Pokemon pun.
Look at the trailer. What was my pun?
Can't catch them all.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Come on, you got to take credit for that one.
Yeah. I'll take credit for that. I meant to say that. But I think the main one for me, which actually annoys me, is like you can add multiple games to a wish list, but you can't actually purchase multiple games at once. You've got to do them one by one.
Oh,
so
that's
like
terrible.
Yeah, so if there's a sale on, I'm like, oh well, there's $2 for that, $5 for that, $10 for that, like whatever it is. I want to buy 3 games. You can't just put them all in your cart and buy it. You've got to do them all separate. And like,
oh my God.
I guess like at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. There's things going on which are more important than that. But it's just like that should be functionality if it's there. Like they should be making it as easy as possible to spend as much money as we can on their store. Like that's just a no-brainer. And I think the more obvious one for people that are just on it is like when you're searching through like a big list, like for example, if there's a big sale on, you're just going through the list. It takes forever to load. Like you'll go down like 2 rows and then it will start loading really slow and you've got to wait for it to catch up. I don't know if that's on their sort of infrastructure or maybe the Switch can't run it that well. I don't know. I assume that's not the case. The DSi had a store that loaded okay, so I don't think it's the Switch's hardware. But I think I would just like to be able to just like go through the big list of games a lot more easier. That seems to be the thing that's annoying to me because I'll be like sitting there and like watching TV. You go down, wait for it to load. You look back at the TV. 10 seconds, back, down. Like it's long enough to actually like make you say, you know what, I'm halfway down the list and nothing's caught my eye for the last few rows, so maybe I'll give up, and that might stops like a developer out there from getting a purchase, because like a lot of the time, for example, the last sale, there was a lot of big games on sale. There was Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, stuff from Activision, some notable indie games, and they're at the very top. And they catch your eye straight away. I bought Spyro for half price, and I used my Nintendo coins to or whatever they're called, the points my Nintendo points to get $20 off. So I bought it for like
hell yeah.
$10. But like, you know, at the very bottom of the list, there was still like pretty good deals there. Like, but they're going to be that hard to find just for the fact that it takes forever to load to get there. Even if you knew that it was at the very bottom, you just hold the analog stick down. It's going to take 5 minutes to get there just to load.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Damn. Imagine all the Animal Crossing you'd play in that time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe maybe I should look it up on my Switch Lite and just keep playing Animal Crossing.
Actually, I thought of one just popped into my head. The biggest thing that I would like the Nintendo eShop to implement is an app where you can actually buy and browse the store on your phone or internet. Is there something like that? I haven't come across it. You have to be on the Switch, right?
No, you can do it online.
You can do it online?
Yeah,
okay.
On your web browser and that.
Your web browser, yeah. I'd love it if there was like a mobile app where I could log in and access the store. Look, granted, PlayStation's isn't super great.
I was about to say that, yeah. It's got a similar problem.
I can quickly jump into the app, go into the PlayStation store, go into games, and I can check from release date down or go into the deals page and I can filter by price and something like that. I'd love that if Nintendo could do that in an app like that. At the moment, I usually go to Vooks.
Yep.
Each week they like highlight the deals, and they also have a link there where you can click on the link and it'll direct you to a purchase page from that, which I find is awesome. And I think they get a bit of a kickback as well. So if I'm ever purchasing a game that I know is on sale or a new release, I think I did the Messenger. No, not the Messenger. Cadence of Hyrule. I knew that came out that week, and I knew that Books had put it up, and I clicked the link off them. So I was making sure I could support them and they could get that kind of link through or whatever they get from doing that. So yeah, that was really cool. I did that at work instead of having to wait and come home and browse the store. So yeah, I like that kind of those kind of features and ease of use.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried buying something elsewhere than having my Switch at home and it auto downloads for me. I haven't tried that yet. I did it on my PS4 ages ago, but it's a pretty neat little feature. Just being like, all right, buy that, then you get home, pick it up, play it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't remember if I downloaded it from where I was, but I just knew that they were going to get a kickback. So I was like, I may as well support them. They put all this effort into making these lists and doing that and having the links available. So I thought it was pretty cool. I
agree. Vooks is definitely an awesome source for checking out sales and all that if you're in Australia. They do an excellent job. I don't think anyone else does it as good as they do. So I use them quite a bit too, just for like seeing what games are coming out and all of that too. So I guess this is just a little bit of a warning. I know Jamie Penning in the Discord had this problem as well, but this is an article from My Nintendo News. Nintendo was investigating reports of unauthorized login to user accounts. So Nintendo has confirmed that it is currently investigating reports that have been published online regarding unauthorized logins to Nintendo accounts. As previously reported, the company took to Twitter to tell users that to use two-factor authentication if they can, but nothing more was said. So yeah, just a bit of a warning out there. People have been getting their accounts hacked and all of that. I know, to bring up Bobby, Nintendo Guru again, he had his Epic account taken over through his Nintendo account somehow. And on a personal level, this isn't through Nintendo at all, but someone logged into my Ubisoft account. They didn't do anything because I had no information on there apart from just my name or whatever. But yeah, it's just a little bit worrying that it seems to be that some groups are targeting some of these gaming companies and taking people's accounts.
Yeah, it's I think Kieran from Well Played or Press Start also had that problem where they siphoned like $400 out of his Nintendo account for Fortnite bucks. So
yeah, it seems to be V-Bucks. That was Bobby's problem as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, if you got some accounts out there, make sure you change your passwords to stuff that you haven't used over multiple accounts and use two-factor authentication, because I know, like, for a fact, if I lose my account, I'll literally have thousands of dollars of games on my account. Like, it's to the point now where it's like, holy shit, these accounts are extremely valuable. Because like my PlayStation one, my Nintendo account, like probably even my Xbox one to some extent, like there's a lot of money sitting there. Like, it's like someone coming into your house and just taking all your stuff.
all the money in the world, if I lost my PlayStation account, that's all my trophies. That would
Yeah, that too.
irritate me the most out of anything. Forget the save data, forget all the games I purchased. If I lost my trophies, oh boy, I don't know how long it would take me to recover.
Yeah, especially that. Like, I guess even if you had 10 grand worth of games, I guess you could just put 10 grand down and say, all right, I want my games back. But the trophies and just like the time you put into stuff would be just devastating.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's making me stressed.
And it makes me sad too. Like games like Splatoon and Pokemon and Animal Crossing that don't support cloud saves. Like, they're all games that you put a lot of time into, just put so much time into, and just not having a backup is like, it just worries me all the time. Not all the time, but just like if I'll lose like one of those saves, I'd be like just heartbroken.
Yeah. Oh man.
So just let us back them up,
there you
Nintendo. So Super Mario Maker 2 has received a 3.0 update, and it's the last major update. So there's been I wasn't like, when I saw this, I assume you saw the video, buddy.
Yeah, it's really cool. What I saw was awesome.
So Nintendo has released a new update for Super Mario Maker 2, which puts the game version at 3.0. This is the final major update that Nintendo had announced yesterday, which brings a ton of new course parts as well as highly requested World Maker and even some new Mii gear. Nintendo released an official patch notes below, and so we'll start off with the World Maker. This is one of the biggest things and probably one of the most exciting things for me, and obviously something a lot of people have been asking for since the first Mario Maker on Wii U. So is this going to get you back into the game to sort of start creating stuff or playing other people's levels, or how did you sort of feel?
No, once again, done and dusted the game for me. Very short period of time that I had it. Once again, it's I knew it was only going to be a short itch that it would scratch. But as far as the World Maker, if I was still playing this game or anywhere interested in this game, this would absolutely make me pick it back up and play it. I think, like you said, it was a highly requested feature from the fan base, and just having a look at the video and the screenshots, it just audibly made me go, wow, that's great. So I think a lot of people are going to do some awesome things with this kind of feature. Are you actively playing Super Mario Maker, or will this make you pick it back up?
I'm not, but I would like to go and pick it back up and try some of this stuff. But in saying that, I did say the same thing about the last update when that added Link as a power up, and I was like, oh, that looks awesome. I never went back and tried it. Mario Maker for me, or Mario Maker 2 for me, was like, it was like when it came out, it's like, oh cool, bought it like on release day, played through the story. I didn't really play it all that much. I played it for about 5 hours all up. I haven't actually like put that much time into it. I think like on paper, it's like, oh, this is, endless Mario, and I would like to go and like put some good amount of time into it. Just like the amount of choice as far as other games on the Switch, and playing Final Fantasy on PlayStation 4, and just like there's games just like coming out of my ears pretty much. So I haven't had the desire to go back to Mario Maker 2, and it kind of makes me a bit sad because like Mario Maker on Wii U, that was a big moment. That was like one of the Wii U's most important games, and a lot of people like stuck with it even once the Wii U was like long dead. And Mario Maker 2 just didn't seem to have the same impact, whether it was because their updates were too slow to come out. Because the game did come out last June, so it's been quite a number of months between each update. So I don't know if that was to go, or whether it's just because the idea wasn't as fresh and people didn't seem to care as much the second time around.
Yeah, possibly that. And another fact you have to take into account is the competition it has on the Switch itself as well. The amount of titles that they have: Mario Odyssey, Smash, all the Pokemon games. First time a mainline Pokemon game has been on like the home console and not just a handheld, and then the abundance of indie support. Like, there's so much more to play, whereas I really feel like from an outsider's point of view, looking at the Wii U, it only really had, it still had a small great selection in its library, but not as much competition for a player's time, I guess. So maybe that's another factor as well that you were saying before with the kind of, did people get their fix and feel from Mario Maker 1?
Yeah, and yeah, you make a good point, because I guess Mario Maker 1 on Wii U was like one of 15 must-play games on the system. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
nowhere
exactly.
near. Yeah,
Now you've got 10 million people playing Animal Crossing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, just like whenever I bring up the Wii U, it's just like I've got like on one hand, it's like God, I had a good time with that system, but on like the complete other end of the scale, I'm like, oh, what were they thinking? Every single time I think about it, it's like I'm just like scratching my head. But yeah, anyway.
I look at the Wii as like the Wii U was a necessary step that Nintendo took so that we could get to what the Switch is, and it was kind of this they had this vision of an idea, and that they kind of built off what the Wii U was with the gamepad and being portable and a TV home console as well. So maybe the Wii U was a necessary misstep from Nintendo, even though it had some great software titles.
I get that, and a lot of people say that, but at the same time, they could have had a more traditional console with a controller with a screen on it, and it could have just been done a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think that the anomaly of the success of the Wii really kind of blindsided them and took them in the wrong direction. So whatever fire they thought they had with the Wii, it was really the exception to the rule, and unfortunately they didn't really identify that at the time. But it looks like that misstep they've kind of adjusted, and they're going gangbusters now with the Switch. So hopefully they don't have another misstep like that. I'd highly doubt it.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
You never know. You never know.
Bring back wacky Nintendo. I want my Wii U mode.
What's a Wii U? What would be a Wii U mote?
What would it be? A Wii U mote or Nintendo Switch? Nintendo Switch U. That's the next console. It would be. What would it be, like a power glove or something? A headband. It's like Ring Fit. It's like the Ring Fit concept, but that's like the base controller for the console, and that's every game is running up and down and doing exercises and stretches, and there's no other alternative. Can you imagine being forced to play the next Zelda game? Crazy, doing crazy running and exercise, like some kind of weird forced VR movement.
I mean, yeah, sure. I'll get amongst it.
Like, I'm not against it, but
I don't think it will be good, but I'll buy it.
Yeah, of course. You're in.
Yeah, I'm in.
The purest of the Nintendo loyal, the House of Mario.
Yeah, so we'll buy whatever random shit you put out, Nintendo.
Yeah, good. I'll wait to hear your opinion on it before I take that step.
All right.
My trusted Nintendo news source.
So apart from that, they added like a bunch more power-ups and stuff, and one of the I guess the coolest power-up that sort of stood out to me was Mario from Mario Bros 2 being able to be basically a power-up, so you can like pick stuff up and basically have the physics of that game in the original Mario Bros game. So I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously, I think it kind of makes it look a bit obvious that they were sort of going to put the Mario Bros 2 game or the art style into the game, so you can actually make levels in that engine. But I think what we're talking about before with like the sales, they weren't necessarily there, and I think they might have like stepped that back just because they didn't see it being worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, because even at E3, I think it was E3 or maybe it was before last E3, they're showing off Mario Maker 2, and they had a extra bit for more game styles next to
yes, I remember.
Mario. No, what's that game called? Mario 3D World. So I was sort of like waiting for it, and it never come. So maybe it looks like it was meant to be Mario Bros 2 in the end, but we're not getting that because this is the last update. But I thought that was pretty cool. So apart from that, there's a power balloon, which looks like it's from Mario World 2. Oh, not Mario World 2. I wish it was at Mario World 2. But
Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. There is. Boom. I just made it.
You did, yeah.
Made it exist.
It does, yeah. You know what I mean, though.
Yes.
So there's the frog suit, there's a boomerang flower, there's a cannon box, which looks pretty cool. Propeller blocks, Goomba mask, so you can go undercover as a Goomba. There's a bullet bill mask. That looks really cool. You can like shoot across as a bullet bill when you let go of the button and you drop, and you can like do that a certain amount of times. There's a red power box, which you put on your head, and when you jump and hit blocks, you do a big power. You can do that 3 times. Then there's all the Kooperlings you can put in there as bosses, and you can do on-off switch for trampolines, and there's a dotted lines box, and you can do different things with keys and that. But yeah, I would like to say I am going to go in for this update, give it a go, play some levels in the with the new Mario Bros 2 power up and all that. But you know, whether I'll do that, I don't know. Eventually I probably will. You know, I've got we've got 3 years or so left of the Switch. I'll probably turn Mario Maker on again eventually, you would assume. So,
yeah.
We'll
and then
see.
you can play all the crazy levels.
Yeah. Maybe not actually. I'm just like having flashbacks about seeing them on YouTube. Like, ooh, I couldn't even do probably the first jump.
It's so good to watch.
It is, isn't it?
Mario Maker footage. Oh,
were you ever like that? Could you do all that stuff?
no, I was terrible. Yeah, I'm no good at the ultra hard levels. I'm no good at the medium levels. So yeah, stick to the pleb levels for me.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll be sticking to the pleb levels too. So this is a bit of a random, or it's not, I guess it is a little bit random, but Splatoon 2 has a new special demo event, and it's beginning on April 29th. And it's also getting a Splatfest to go along with it. So if you can't remember what Splatfests are, basically it's when there's 2 teams, you pick a team and you go head to head for a weekend or so. And this time it's a catch up versus Mayo. And I think this was one back on the Wii U Splatoon. I think it was one of the very first ones. So it's interesting that it's they're sort of trying to kick off Splatoon again, trying to get it into, I guess, people's minds and putting a demo out there to push the game. Because they stopped the DLC after 2 years, so kind of assumed, the game's done. They're working on the third one. They'll start up the series again when it's time to promote the third one. But looks like they're actually trying to push this game again, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's good to kind of renew some interest in it, and whether, like you said, they are doing a Splatoon 3 or they're just kind of breathe some life back into it. I saw a really funny tweet saying, "Oh my god, I can't believe they brought back the come everywhere mode for Splatoon 2 because of the mayo." And then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, that's shooting it out." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a bit of a weird choice." I wonder if Nintendo ever factored that in when they made that one of the teams you could represent. So
yeah, I mean, in the actual game, it's a bit more yellowy, so it's like it's like So if you are thinking about it that way, it's kind of like, oh, he's got problems. That boy, he should go to the doctor.
An abundance of people in Team Mayo.
Yeah, I'll personally go catch up because I like my tomato sauce, as we call it here in Australia.
That's it.
What would you choose? Would you be mayo or catch up?
Oh, I'll be gonna go Team Skeet, I think. Team Mayo.
Nice.
Just a contrarian view from you, so we
fair enough.
oppose each other. Yeah.
So I can shoot red all over you. You can shoot whatever color the mayo is going to be all over me.
Yes, I can guarantee it won't be yellow.
Oh. Yeah, I guess you're a healthy boy, so it won't be yellow.
Yeah, moving on.
Yes. So this is from books.net. So Animal Crossing New Horizons update is coming this week. I think it actually launched today as we're recording, and I haven't picked up my Switch yet, apart from playing Hatsune Miku for about 10 minutes. And it adds merchants, a museum expansion, and more. So I'll read the article from Vooks, who sums it up nicely, and we'll... I guess we'll talk about it a little bit. I don't think you'll have too much to say about it since you put the game down, but it's all good. Apparently it's a big week for free updates for Nintendo games, hot off the heels of the announcement for Super Mario Maker 2's last major update. Nintendo has revealed the next big thing for Animal Crossing New Horizons. The new update, dubbed by Nintendo April free update, is absolutely packed with adorable new content for everybody to enjoy. First on the list is a slew of new events. Nature Day later this month, May Day in May, and International Museum Day later in May, and wedding season throughout the whole month of June. So that actually confused me when I saw it, because I'm like, is June wedding season. I'm not really in tune with like all the wedding stuff, but is June like a good time to have a wedding? Because I know in Australia, like I wouldn't have a wedding in June because it's winter. It's when winter's starting. So
Yeah, so I'm guessing where that's kind of based out of.
it's in the northern hemisphere, I guess, where it's like it's coming in the
Summer.
summer. Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. So
So each of these events come with a whole host of activities, items, and NPCs, which brings us to the second major addition, new merchants. In addition to characters like Flick, Kix, Label, CJ, players will soon will be able to encounter everyone's favorite sloth, Leaf, who'll sell the character a wide range of landscaping supplies like trees, flowers, and new shrubs. You may also come across the seafaring bandit Jolly Red upon his new pirate ship, the Treasure Trawler. Through Red, you'll be able to basically get artwork. He was in previous games. You go up to him and he's a merchant and you can buy artwork and you can donate to the museum. So that's just being updated in this new update, which is, I guess, good to see. Something else to collect in Animal Crossing, which is a game mainly about collecting things. So that's all good.
yeah, it's pretty cool that they're using a touchstone of a character that's been in previous Animal Crossing games as well. I know they did that with the kind of the Easter egg with kind of the music. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember specifics. I think I read it somewhere about some of the music tracks that were in it that you could get. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's a tidbit that I kind of stuck into my mind. I remember it being quite cool. So maybe people run out and investigate that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to that update. Animal Crossing is going to be a game I'm going to check out because of the update. Well, I was going to play it anyway, but yeah. So, I guess moving on from that, Famitsu has had their Game of the Year awards for 2019, and Pokemon Sword and Shield came away with their Game of the Year, which is quite surprising that Pokemon beat a lot of other games. But personally, I couldn't vote it for Game of the Year, but personally, it probably was my Game of the Year last year, just because I'm such a big Pokemon fan and I put so much time into the game. So I guess it's cool that it's getting some recognition somewhere. And Famitsu is obviously a really big outlet in Japan, so it's quite good for Game Freak and Nintendo to win the award there. As far as other games that won awards there, so Best Rookie Award went to Death Stranding, so I assume that's just for first game for a studio. Best Indie Award, Nocia. I haven't heard of that game.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell to me.
Yeah. Best Shooter, Apex Legends. Best Esports Award, Fortnite. Best Online Game Award, Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers. Best Streamer Award, Junichi Kato. Don't know who that is, obviously. I don't watch Japanese streamers. Best RPG Award, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Best Action Award, Sekiro. Best Action Adventure, Death Stranding. Best Adventure Award, 13 Centennials. I don't know how to say that.
Nothing.
Best Creator in China, Hideo Kojima. Best Game in China, Sekiro. Best Character Award, Sam Porter Bridges from Death Stranding. Best Music Award, Persona 5 Royale. I don't think anyone will disagree with that. Best Scenario Award is 13 Sentinels. Best Graphics Award goes to Death Stranding. Special Award goes to Dragon Quest Walk / Ring Fit Adventure. Dragon Quest Walk. I haven't heard of that.
Nah, same. Pretty cool for Ring Fit Adventure, though.
Yeah. Just a special award. Like, you're special. Here you go.
Yeah, contribution.
Seems like
participation award.
Yeah, and they just put like 2 fitness games in the special award. Most valuable creator, Kojima, and Game of the Year, Pokemon Sword and Shield. So there you go.
Yeah, wow. Impressive winner.
Yeah,
against all those other titles.
And that ends up all the news. All the news So just before we jump into Reggie's Rec Room, we just got some questions here via Twitter. So Brendan White asked, if you were included as an animal villager version of yourself in Animal Crossing New Horizons, what would it be and why? So, buddy, what animal would you be if you were an Animal Crossing villager?
Oh man, this is so tough. Anytime anyone asks me what animal I would be in certain situations, I always think of the movie The Lobster. And then I panic and then hope that, 45 days doesn't surpass and then I'm forced to be turned into an animal and then shunned away into the woods. So if it was Animal Crossing and not The Lobster, I'm guessing it's kind of what animal represents me, really, or what character I want to be. I like the idea of maybe a monkey, just because they're quite cheeky, very charismatic, have a lot of personality, even though my favorite animal is a lion. But maybe an obscure answer that I'm going to go for, maybe a springbok.
Springbok?
Prance around. Yeah, springbok. The prey of the lion.
Right, yeah. I
Antelope.
was just trying to think of like a springbok is. I'm like, what?
Yes. So I got the horns, obviously very agile, and yeah, maybe I can take me back to my days when I used to be able to run fast and move around quick in my rugby league days. They're long gone now. Pretty much past me my best days of social sports. So maybe an antelope or springbok to reminisce.
That's a good answer. Like when I first read the question from Brendan, I was like, what my mind went straight to was like, I like dogs, but that's a boring answer. We've already got Isabel. I can't be cute of an Isabel. So
Yep.
I thought of like what would be a funny animal to be in the game just in general, and I was thinking like like a fish or something like that, like something just like horrifying, maybe like a bug or something where people just like come up to me and like go, "What the hell are you?" I'm like, oh, like can't even talk.
It'd be so funny if you like caught fish and then
Yeah.
you were the fish character on land, and then you bring up and show at the fish, and here it's like you're disgruntled or disgusted, responses or whatever. Like, how could you do this to my friend or blah. That'd make for some interesting.
Yeah, I was trying to think like, what's that fish from SpongeBob? What was his name? I'm just imagining that.
Oh man, I have no idea. My
yeah, my SpongeBob trivia is pretty lacking, but
yes,
yeah,
obviously my brain wasn't a sponge when I was watching SpongeBob. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people would be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, I'd be that. I'd just be like the derpy fish, getting around, and I'd be like fishing and like living in my big mansion at the top of the hill in my village.
Oh, that would make for a good picturesque photo opportunity.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
King of the castle.
Yeah. So Jamie Penning asks, could you possibly see a delay in the Pokemon DLC due to the virus? And I'm pretty confident that it will be coming out on time. In the last Direct, they said it will coming out by the end of June. So what that tells me is they haven't locked down a date for it yet because they're still actively making it. So, there is every chance that it could be delayed, but I feel like maybe the DLCs, even if it is delayed, it doesn't have to get delayed by that much, maybe, because it doesn't have to go to be printed on game cards and everything. It can be like, all right, we're running a couple of weeks behind because we are working from home and things are a bit more tough at the moment. But I don't think it will be delayed too much, at least. It might be delayed like into July, maybe. But to be honest, I'm not too worried about it. I do assume it is going to hit in June. But yeah, because I'm really looking forward to that. That is a big thing on my list, which I'm going to be playing a lot of.
Yeah, I think you make a great point about like not having to be printed out on carts. I think maybe that would be, and not narrowing down a specific date. I think those two indicators are signs that they might be on track. So or might not get behind on their schedule.
And Metadox, he just asked whether we're going to be talking about Mario Maker 2 and Animal Crossing and all of that stuff. And yes we were, and yes we did. So all right, so let's get into just a quick basically a little topic in Reggie's Rec Room. Buddy, I'll see you in Reggie's Rec Room. I think he's pouring a drink right now, so let's go and have a look.
Excellent. I can't wait.
You're thirsty.
Yeah, I'm parched.
Oh, let's go in there. Oh.
Hi, Nintendo fans. Reggie here. Thank you for your never-ending support, for giving me a mushroom kingdom full of incredible memories that I will never forget. Ever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Reggie. Oh, man, that's a nice Scotch and Coke he just poured me there. Absolutely delicious. Buddy, did you want what drink would you like here, mate?
Yeah, I'll take a Scotch just on the rocks, so make it a double.
The rocks. That's so easy.
Please. That's a nice decanter you have, Reggie, actually.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Yeah. It's got like the nice big cube and everything in there. It's really good.
Oh, very impressive. Oh, yeah, that hits the spot.
Just wonderful. Thank you very much, Reggie.
Yep, thank you. Thank you for your support, and thank you, Reggie.
All right, enough of that bit. So a couple of weeks ago, Tamazoid put in our Discord community, and this is what he had to say. So he said, it would be interesting to hear your thoughts on whether you find games to be an avenue for escapism, particularly given in the current scenario, and whether you play a particular game genre depending on your overall mood or feel, or force yourself to finish a particular game you've started. So basically what I was thinking is just talking about video games as escapism, and maybe how you view video games, whether for you it is for escapism or it is for, I guess, other reasons. So I get with these like times at the moment, it's pretty tough on the world in general, but we all go through certain things in our life where escapism is something we desire, and video games do pretty well, especially if you're really enjoying the game. So I guess how do you feel about it all, and how do you use video games to get away from whatever it might be?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's really with any hobby that you could use as a form of escapism, whether it's, like I said before, I used to play rugby league, a lot of social sport, touch footy and stuff like that. Whether it's just going to training or, socializing with people as well. It kind of gives you, I wouldn't say a purpose, but it kind of becomes a part of your identity, really, some of your hobbies, and specifically for video games as a type of media, or even something like movies or even music as well, and specifically how you kind of consume that type of stuff. So for me, for music, putting on headphones and just sitting down and listening to an album and not being distracted through my phone or any other thing, that can really, especially just depending on the genre of music or the artist, and can really draw some kind of emotion out of you, whether it's building you up or hyping you up, or whether it's some sad songs that you kind of can resonate with, or kind of let some of your emotions out of. Same thing with movies. You can really get engrossed with a movie, and I that's why I absolutely love going to the cinema, because once again, there's no distractions. There's no looking at your phone. It's pretty much you're there for that reason, and that reason alone, and that's the most kind of engaged you can be with a movie. Whereas even at home, sometimes, unless you have, lights on or other distractions or people around you are doing it, depending on what kind of environment you're in, it cannot be, sometimes it can't take you out as much as what it can elsewhere. But video games is the same. And once again, with narrative driven games, you can really get engrossed with it. Something like The Last of Us, or like I said earlier on in the episode, that I'm playing Apex and Rocket League. I play a lot of The Last of Us multiplayer mode as well. So for escapism, for me, a lot of those multiplayer games, it's something I can just switch off. And if I've had a bad day at work, or other things in my life are distracting me or getting me down, or even the flip side of it, if I'm, get home from work, or, having other moments in my life that are quite celebratory or whatever, a lot of that can either distract or kind of emphasize for me when I'm playing games. So if I'm in a great mood and I'm playing games, that can kind of build on, and I'm doing something that I really enjoy, and that can kind of just, I guess, prolong that mood that I'm in for whatever reason I'm happy. And the same type of flip side is if I'm, annoyed, distracted, or angry or I've had a bad day or upset or any other kind of flood of emotions, I can really distract myself through multiplayer games, whether it's socializing and speaking with friends and playing online, or just getting in competitive environments, playing that as well. But it doesn't always have to be competitive stuff. Like even puzzle games, which I really like, I find can really pushed me because it's doing with logic and stuff like The Witness on PlayStation 4. I'm not sure if it ever came to Switch. I don't think so. It's on every other platform now, but for a number of reasons, it can be escapism and not just to kind of, like I said, not just competitive games or story-based games. It can be anything in any hobby. So yeah, it's a great form of escapism, and it's a great way to unwind. So yeah, video games, and specifically for myself, I love movies and love going to the cinema, and that is one of the times I can really switch off and I guess engage with that kind of content. So yeah, I'd absolutely 100% agree about the escapism and video games being a great form to do that. And I haven't even talked about agency and role play and fulfilling fantasies of it being in a fantasy world of the Legend of Zelda and exploring vast worlds like Skyrim or The Witcher or anything else like that. So there's so many other touchstones you can really kind of so many other people can get out of with the type of escapism that they're kind of searching for or seek out. So yeah, I'd love to hear kind of what you feel about it as well.
Yeah. I guess it was years ago when it was Bryce, myself, and a couple of other friends were all playing this horror game together. I forgot what it was called. It was a Half-Life 2 mod on PC. It was a horror game. I forgot what it was called, but it had a really compelling story, and we're all sitting around watching each other play it. And I think one of my friends, he was like, something jumped out at him, and he was scared shitless. He dropped the controller, and we were just we all just laughed at him. So what are you doing? This isn't scary. Even he gave me the controller, and when you're playing the game, that was the time where it really stuck out to me, how special video games are, and you just actually doing the actions and moving it, how much of a difference that makes actually being involved in it. Because I was exactly the same, and something jumped out at me a couple of minutes later, and I was like, oh shit, I just kind of lost my shit in a way, and I was like, yeah, see, it is scary when you're actually playing. I'm like, yeah, it is too. I think that's lost on a lot of people. You might be watching gameplay on YouTube or Twitch or something, but you're not necessarily getting that immersion, and that immersion is what really helps just with the escapism and just losing track of time and everything. So yeah, I think it's I think video games are great, and I obviously I think video games are great. Do a bloody podcast about them.
But video games suck. Nintendo is bad.
Yeah, so I'm just here. I'm just what's so good about these things? And yeah, but yeah, I really enjoy just using them as escapism too. But just what I want to put towards you is, do you feel like some aspect escapism from video games has that ever been negative in your life, whether it's because you got too immersed in a game and you spent less time with pets or loved ones or whatever because of it? Has there been times where you're a video game's had a negative impact because you've
absolutely
sorry.
Sorry, yeah, so absolutely, I think so, and that's where you tread this fine line between what we're kind of classing as escapism and then addiction. Because are you getting addicted to kind of this kind of you can get addicted to any hobby. Video games really gets a bad rap for addiction, but I think there are certainly some people that have kind of addictive personalities, and they can just kind of latch onto games as their addiction, and that's kind of where there's a weird line between, is there a video game addiction? Is there not? If there were no video games, would those type of people get addicted to other things anyway? Because that's just kind of their personality. So yes, I would say so. Like I said, in my recent days off, I've had 16 days off. I've been playing a lot of Apex, and there was a lot of, I guess, avoidance of doing certain chores or responsibilities that I knew I had to do, or things that were, it can be anything. When I was doing uni work or trying to update resumes or look for jobs, and when I was out of a job for 18 months and I couldn't find a job and I was just burning through savings, and I should have done, I should have just packed all my stuff up. I should have went back and moved home instead of staying out of home, paying all these bills and trying to really tough it out myself. I was just not in a good mental state at the time. And I was playing a lot of video games, had all that time off, and my job search was really it was just not happening. I was not getting any responses back. So it got me into a phase where I just stopped searching, and I just really fell into a hole. And I'd spent through 30 to 40 grand of savings that I'd worked so hard for, because I had this kind of mental breakdown at my job, and I just had to quit. I could no longer get there. But the problem was I didn't quit and go to any employment. At the time, I was doing university, so that was distracting me from putting all my energy into finding a job. And even then, I would use that as another avoidance. I didn't want to go to university, but I knew I had to. I was falling behind on work, so I'd leave that to the last minute, and then I'd kind of get into crunch, as a fun word with video game fans would recognize, and really do things last minute. And because it was just poor planning, I was in this poor mental state in my life. I just dug myself into a real hole. And as a person that is quite competitive, or once again, we bring up trophies and trying to find trophies. And that was a period in my life where I was playing games and like, all right, I've got to do this. I've got to get the trophy for that or whatever. And because I'm addictive kind of personality and very competitive, yes, it probably did get to a point where I was using this form of escapism in a very negative light. And eventually I dug myself out of that hole, and not completely out of that there, but I'm in a much more better place and comfortable place of where I am now. So yeah, absolutely. There was a negative experience of where that is. But once again, that's really escapism versus addiction. And that probably comes down to a little bit of the personality type of a person. I think it's more of the personality type of a person, more so than on video games or movies or music, or a certain sport or watching sport or anything, reading or listening to podcasts or any other kind of really hobby or activity that can kind of you can get lost into negatively as well. So
yeah, and like I was thinking about this topic and everything. I was watching a YouTuber called Friendly Geordies. I'm not sure if you've heard of him on YouTube. He's an Australian comedian, but he has a second channel where he talks about, I guess, life advice or self-help. And he was talking about basically like, make sure you read plenty, take in knowledge, get people's opinions, like, be like a fairly diverse person. And from what he was saying, he obviously doesn't like video games. He just sees them as a waste of time and whatever. And like, obviously I don't agree with that, but he did have a point about video games sort of filling that being productive part in the brain. And at the time, that really spoke to me, because I was like thinking about my backlog. Backlog's like something like a lot of gamers have.
Yeah.
At the time I was thinking, I've got to go on Switch. I've got to like finish these games, etc., etc. On PlayStation, I've got to finish this. Got to finish this. Got to make sure I keep playing Final Fantasy VII remake, so that doesn't get put in the backlog. And thinking about that, then that video come up, basically saying like, video games, you what he was basically saying is like, you shouldn't play them. All they do is fill that sort of that part of the brain which makes you feel productive. But at the end of the day, you're not. You're completing a video game. You're putting it on your shelf. You haven't really necessarily completed anything. I don't agree with that necessarily. I love video games. It's like my main hobby. But it did help me maybe like put some things in perspective. Like you don't have to finish everything. You don't have to play every single game. You don't have to play it just because, like it might be a bit different for me if I want to like talk about it on the podcast or something. But I know like a lot of people out there, like you don't have to feel compelled to just like finish everything and make sure you're in the loop, because I know that is sort of a part of it, just being, I guess that. Because I know for like people like us, buddy, like, we sit down with a game, we get immersed in the game, but I think we're very much immersed in like the industry and what's coming out and what's going on and what other people are talking about.
Yeah.
So maybe in some ways that could be unhealthy to some respect. I'm not sure. I'm sort of like just been thinking about it. What do you think about that being like, I guess, immersed more in just the industry and what's coming out and trying to keep up?
Yeah. I would agree with that. I've been in a podcasting break from my main podcast, which was Dash Culture, which is now the rebranded Dash Gamer podcast. And, for me, working in games, it became quite overwhelming working in video games, and then my hobby and passion was coming home and playing video games and then talking about video games. And
Yeah.
I was really becoming frustrated. I go through these phases within a year. There might be 2 or 3 phases of it where I get really just over video games and really frustrated and annoyed, and I don't want to play them. I don't really want to talk about them or do anything. So that is a percentage of the reason why I'm not regularly podcasting at the moment. So, because I don't feel like playing anything, and I feel like, I can still react to the news and everything, but having that underlying commitment of, hey, I've got to show up every 2 weeks and I've got to react to the news and I've got to speak about what I've been playing. And like I said, recently I've only been playing Apex. I have come to terms a long time ago that you don't have to play everything. And I know what games are buddy games and I know what games are not buddy games. So I don't care about any of the Far Cries. I don't care about Monster Hunter World. I don't care about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't care about any of the Assassin's Creeds. I know what games are mine. So for me, when I see a lot of those games come out and kind of, Rage or any other type of genres or stuff that I don't want to play, it's quite comforting knowing that I have that switch in my brain that goes, this is not for me. I don't feel like I have to play this for content, because that would go against really my own beliefs or my kind of own wants and desires. So I come to terms with that a long time ago, but at the moment, not podcasting regularly has been, I guess, fantastic, and just being able to pop up on something like this has kind of been a little bit liberating. And there's no real pressure for me to play anything. And even coming on tonight, I'm like, oh, should I have played something in Nintendo? I didn't really get that feeling. Like, I've kind of let go of that a little bit. So knowing that I've only played Apex for the last 2 weeks, I don't really care. And maybe if I was podcasting a little bit regularly, and I would feel more obliged to have played something different, just because I may be able to give a better opinion or be a little bit more informed of what's going on currently. Maybe that's part of the reason why I did pick up Animal Crossing, just so I kind of knew. But that kind of looked like a buddy game anyway. So I would agree to a certain point with yourself as a podcaster, and the little community that we're kind of a part of as well, like feeling the need to play everything or at least have an opinion on something, or that can kind of get overwhelming to a point. But once again, I don't know if that fits into the escapism mode, but it kind of to a point can, I guess, ruin or jeopardize our escapism for using games as escapism. Like, okay, Drew wants to play Animal Crossing as a form of escapism. Great. Oh, great. Drew has to play Animal Crossing for the podcast or to give an opinion on it. Now it's no longer escapism. Now it's like feeling like work. And that's a lot of the reason why I've kind of stepped back and can kind of jump in and whenever I really want to. It's kind of been a little bit liberating for me.
Yeah. I feel like for the next probably couple of months, it's going to be like, all right, so what did Drew play this week? Animal Crossing and a bit of Pokemon. So,
and there's nothing, and there really is nothing wrong with that. You're still, for yourself, you're reporting on the news and a lot of Nintendo centric things, and people love your opinions on that, and that's why I'll continue to listen as well. Like, I'm not expecting you to play 1,001 different things. Like, I don't need to tune in next week and know that you've played the latest Mario Maker update and you've done, the new Animal Crossing update, and you're kind of forcing yourself to do all these new things and immerse yourself where it could become to the point where it is overwhelming. So some people want that out of you, but as I guess from my own position, I look at that and I go, well, yeah, why would you force that on yourself? And if you did, maybe you wouldn't be able to give the proper kind of feedback or information or opinion of it to the people that do want the information for you, because it's kind of being compromised to a degree.
Yeah, especially like this time of year, it's just like, it's hard physical work. So when I get home, I don't want to be like, all right, so I've got to do this, and this, and this. I just just like I said, just put on Pokemon or Animal Crossing and just relax.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else in this sort of topic, or you reckon we sort of covered it?
Look, you could really deep dive into it, and specifically talking about other forms of media and stuff, and the type of escapism that you look for in certain people. But yeah, I think we'd be here all night. Maybe it's something else to tackle, but I think what we've spoken about has been quite insightful anyway.
Yeah. So Brendan Tam, who brought up the topic, he was talking to me. He's going to be starting up his own podcast soon, and this is one of the topics he will be tackling on that podcast.
Oh, awesome.
So he is a great supporter of us, and he's been friends with us years before we started the podcast. So we'll definitely be letting everybody know where you can find that podcast once he starts it up. So keep that in mind if you thought this topic was interesting. All right.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, buddy. So I guess we'll finish the show there.
Yeah, it's been awesome to be on again in the house of Mario. Great to visit the house. Great to see Reggie for the first time, and
it's going well.
Just getting through that scotch now, so it's that's been quite warming in the heart. Very delicious when it's on the rocks.
Yeah, just like I was stumbling just before. I'm like, just in my head, I'm like, how do I finish this show again? So, all right, everybody, thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario, episode 139. If you enjoy the show, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and whatever else offers reviews. I don't think anything else offers reviews, really, apart from maybe Podchaser offers separate reviews. I don't really know, but Apple Podcasts is the most important one. And you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at IDruby. Buddy, where can they find you?
I'm on Twitter at BuddyWatson12.
And you can find the show at the House of Mario. And as we said before, we have an awesome Discord community where we talk mostly every day, unless we don't talk. And then I get nervous because, like, did we have a fight? Did we offend someone? But no, we didn't offend anyone. So this week's Nintendo Jukebox is a song called Animal Crossing, and it's by Sean Wasabi. It's on SoundCloud. Go and give it a look. There's a link in the show notes below if you'd like to listen to it further. And until next week, the doors to the House of Mario are closed. Catch you later.
See ya.
Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing.